Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Beatriz. How are you?
Do you hear well?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. My computer decided to throw a tantrum last minute, so I had to restart. How is everybody today?
I have everybody on mute. Give me 1 second. There you go. You guys can unmute yourselves now.
Walter. You see, I'm telling you, Andreina, Walter is very...
Good morning.
I love Walter.
Good morning, Beatriz. How are you?
JC.
Good morning.
JC vino a hacer a strike.
I know.
I came to support.
Hi, JC. JC is a very special person. Okay, guys. So thank you for joining us. I see new faces. Ezequiel. Hi, Ezequiel. John. Okay, so let's try to start. This is first of all, thank you, Andreina, for hosting this. Is it my logo okay? Is it okay?
Backwards. It's backwards.
I'm sorry, guys. I always have this situation. I don't know. Why is it now?
There you go. Now you got it.
Dear Lord.
Beautiful.
All right. So thank you, Andreina, for hosting this event. She does it every Thursday, and she has many other ones. She's a real professional on our industry, even though she's not a realtor. So that's one of the good things about her. If you ever have a question, you need training, you need consulting, you need services about real estate, call Andreina. She's really, she's not a realtor. I mean, the good thing is that she's not a realtor. And she's gonna hire me for every video to present her.
I am. I'm gonna hire you so you can present me every time.
Because
You got the job.
Between the way you introduced me and Alexandra from Aqualina, I'm just gonna make little clips and put them out there all the time.
All the time, you should. All right, guys. So let's start. I'm sorry for being late. My computer decided to throw a tantrum. So let's start about this. I'm gonna put the chat. Where's the chat? The chat is here. Just in case someone asks. I love this subject. This is one of the subjects that I love the most when it comes to sales, and especially comes to sales of development, which is my expertise. I'm Beatriz Santamaria. I work for Desert, and I sell Armani and Porsche. I've been, I've sold other developments before, and I've been, for about 10 years doing this. I have a real passion for design, for form, for architecture, for construction. I truly like it. And one of the things that it comes with new construction, why is it that we love so much construction? Is not only because of the new sale or the commission, and it's just because it's new. New is always pretty. New is always very welcoming to the human eye. Why? Because we have a pleasant satisfaction when we something that it has harmony, that is beautiful, and that's why a lot of buyers feel attracted. It's not only location. It's not only about money. It's not only about. It's also because of the beauty of the product. So So let's talk. If you don't have my number, you just scan that QR code that you see there, and you will get straight to the chat. Say hello, so we can save each other phone number. So when we're talking about architecture, we are by definition we are talking about something that is going to be, it has to be, it has to have durability. It has to stay with us for a long time. So it's one of the components. What definition about architecture? It has to be. It has utility. It has to be usable. It's not that I'm going to design something where no one can live. It has to fit the geology, the place. It has to fit the life of the people in that area. We cannot be building here in Miami just a bunch of wood houses with no air conditioners, because we're gonna die here. So it has to serve the purpose and the area of that is gonna be built or designed, and also it has to fit. It's not the fit. It has to be pleasant to the human eye. It has to be beautiful. So that all those three, just in general, has to fit the architecture concept. This is just in general. Now, all these things don't come free. So it has a cost. And that is one of the things. That's why new construction, it costs more than the ones before, because new implies efforts in design and new materials and new complying with new construction codes. So when we are selling, we cannot just say, I'm going to compare the entire zip code and I'm going to just go ahead and do an average and price per square foot, because it is not. It's as simple as you are driving by and you see buildings. This building has concrete. This other one, it has glass. Right there there is a difference in design that is gonna affect the price of your sale or the price of your purchase. So you cannot just go ahead and do an average, because guess what? There is a design, there's architecture implied on the price of that product. I know that we have the tendency of just go ahead straight, and Andreina that gives a lot of training on this. Address, just zip code, let's do an average, boom, this is the price of your product. But in reality, it shouldn't be that way, because we have design behind that product that you see in that new one. Oh, that is too expensive. Have you analyzed why it's too expensive? If it is too expensive. So those are the things that I invite you to understand. How understand the architecture will help you, because when you see the properties of the building, in terms of architecture, and it says here, and style and period detailing, in terms of timing, and you understand that as a selling point, you're going to be able to upsell your property, or you're going to be able to beat your company. I'm sorry, your competitor, your competition. And you understand that as a beneficial design feature for your client. Definitely, you're going to be able to upsell or beat your competition when you are talking. When you understand, it's not only about price. It's not only about a price per foot. Price per square foot is not only about maintenance. Guys, it's about the design and the beauty of the product that you're selling. I cannot compare, and I see this often, and again, I'm not talking about the product that I'm selling, I'm just talking in general. You cannot just go straight and just compare, because it's let's talk about Sunny Isles. Oh, just because it's Sunny Isles, and I go to Brickell, the average price per square foot in Brickell is such. Therefore, my client, this is the price that he has to achieve. No, No, in reality, it's not. So you can, if you understand the value of that building that you want to sell, and you understand the feature, what are the benefits that of that design, you're going to be able to upsell. Just take the chance to look, just observe the beauty of that property that you want to upsell, and I guarantee you that you're going to get more conversation topics. You're going to be able to get that client to appreciate the value and the beauty of that. It's like, I'm going to put this example. Why you cannot compare a new building with an old one? And I get this all the time. No, that new building is too expensive. I'm not gonna, I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't know what's happening with developers. They are just get all the money. So why would you don't do this? Why you don't go, you buy an old car, 2010, and just do a whole remodel in that car, change the leather, change everything, put new tires, put new everything inside, but it's a 2000 car, and try to buy that car and get that car and run on that car and drive on that car. Oh no, you're not gonna like it. No, because it's not new, because in real estate, you're supposed to have something pretty to take the client. It's the same. It is the same with real estate. Why you don't go, and a lot of people, they truly do not want to live in an old building because the new beauty is not implied in the design of that product. So get the difference. Try not to sell only with price per square foot. Try to sell with the beauty of the building, with the new features, with the things that it has to bring to that client. Trust me, a lot of our clients do appreciate that. A lot of pride. You'll think, but why people are buying this if that one is more expensive? It's because it's more beautiful. If you are one of these people that have the price here, try to put it aside for a second and try to sell the beautiful points of that building. Let's talk about one of the things why architecture comes along in our in our business. Let's talk about this rendering. This one right here that you see. This is my mouse is playing. It doesn't want me. Okay, never mind. That is jade. Before long years ago, I mean, not long years, but like 6, 7, 8 years ago, all the buildings in Miami, we used to have the pool right in front of the ocean because we all wanted to see the ocean. What happens that the behavior of the clients and all the buyers, especially the people that come to buy our beaches, which that they truly enjoy and have the money to buy these kind of properties, they want to enjoy the sun. And let me ask you, isn't that what we sell all the time? We sell the beach, we sell the sun, we sell all this beautiful ocean. And then you can enjoy that during the afternoon because it happens that the sun is in our backyard. It's right there, it's on the west. So if I don't get the building towards, in diagonal, I'm not gonna be able to get the sun on the beach. Okay, guys, that is architecture. That is not like, oh, cool. No, that is called architecture. And that is the feature that is the deal because people from the south of America, Argentina, Chile, Brazil, people from the way north, all the Northeast, Chicago, Boston, New York, they all come looking for sun all time, all day long. They don't care, they want sun. So if the sun is blocked during the afternoon, they're gonna be disappointed. So right there, this is architecture, and you'll see it as well in Armani. Armani has exactly the same feature. You see, jade is diagonal towards the south, so the south comes to the beach. You go to Armani, and Armani has exactly the same feature. It's towards the south, so we have the sun. So that is architecture impacting our business. So we can sell more, so we can appeal other markets that are very, very into the beach and into the sun. So that is the value that architects are bringing us. They are finally understanding that what is our business? Our business is not to have a pool in front of the ocean. Cool, but they are missing sun. So now they are adding this other component into the business. Any questions so far? No questions. All right. So let's talk. Let's go to the next slide. So will my client pay more for that sunset and that ocean? Listen, this one isn't, why is this escaping? Isn't it that what we sell? Isn't it that what we sell about Miami? I see all the time people posting about beach, about the ocean, about how sunny Miami is, how the weather is. So, you know, you have to come to an agreement between your marketing and what you are truly selling. And I hope you are not one of these that you see a post and you just reply because whatever, that's what everybody's posting. No, I want you to understand that that is what we are selling. We are selling sun, ocean, and beach. So when you have someone, let's say, I don't want that it goes just like another regular speech. No, I want you to really sink in and really understand that the architecture is making our lives easier, and is really understanding the behavior of the consumer, and that those are talking points for you when you are with a client. Your client doesn't want to pay more for that sun during the afternoon, so go to another building and don't enjoy that sun. I mean, you're gonna have your window time is gonna be the morning. That's gonna be your window time to be on the beach. Ezekiel is telling me that after many years selling Miami, I still doubt if it is good to buy in pre-construction. I never seen price going up. That is not the usually when building is finished, you can get better deals than in pre-construction. How you explain that? That is a whole new subject. I wouldn't disagree with you on that, definitely. But it's not the subject of today's seminar, class, webinar, call it that way. If you want, we can do one about that and we can have a whole conversation. But that is not necessary, people. Just to give you a quick answer, Ezekiel, most of the people, there are two groups. One group of people, buyers, they buy because they have 2-3 years to give that 50%, and it is what is comfortable for them to be paying, you know, in a monthly basis, quarter basis, or year basis. So that's why pre-construction is still a good business, and that's why you're still going to sell, because I guarantee you that you're going to have some people in Argentina that they cannot just give you $2 million cash today, but they can give you $2 million in the term of 2-3 years. And that is why you are still going to sell, even though the client knows that it's not a good deal. Period, is going to happen. Second, because you are going to get more commission on that deal than in another deal and in a general real estate. Period. It's just black and white, the reality of the situation. Also, other people, they make money on the change on the currency, and they like that game. So, and you know very well that, because you are a very good salesperson and you've been in the market for a while and you sell a lot. So but that is a different subject. What I'm talking about today is architecture and why in development the developers are investing more and more and more in architecture, because today architecture is serving a lot that is not about only the pride of the architect, it's about understanding the market, especially with these buildings. So that's what it is. So going back to the fact that if a client will pay more for that ocean and more for that sunset, that's what we sell. And I was telling you, you all guys, I see all your Facebook, and in all your Facebook, I see sun, beach, ocean, weather. That's what we're selling. So I think so. I do think that there's some people that truly want to have that sunset and that ocean during the afternoon. So let's continue. So let's talk about another subject, which is assigned parking. Dear Lord, this is a real subject, and a lot of you do not understand why developers are not giving assigned parking anymore. And there is a very good reason, and guys understand, pay attention to this. It happens that Florida, and I'm gonna give you just a quick explanation because we can go long on this, but I'm gonna try to make it easy. Assigned parking is basically it's an extinction today, because it costs a lot of money to do that. Okay, for me to give you an assigned parking, I'm gonna have to sell that property, the price per square foot, way higher than if I wouldn't do so. And this is the explanation, because in Florida we have water and more water underneath the ground level. So what it is this? Let me show you here. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures to see if you understand. We have ground, which is the one that you see here. We see the ground where we have all our properties and buildings where we are stepping now. Then you're going to have a mixture, let's put it that way, like a mixture between sand and water. And that's water that we have below us. And that's where we get all this, the water. Like my house has a well. Here I have a well, and I have fresh water for all my garden and everything. And it's a very common feature in a lot of houses here in Florida. And then you're gonna find one aquifer, and that is the Biscayne aquifer, and we have plenty of water under here. And that water is, just imagine like it's a ground river. Then we have clay, and then we have another aquifer, which is the Florida one, which it runs way longer in Florida than the Biscayne one. But this is what I want you to picture. We have the ground, sand with water, clay, a river, clay, and another river. If you dig, because usually what happens in a lot of our clients are coming like from cities like Bogota, Lima, Quito, Buenos Aires. They're coming from cities that are in is rock or is granite or like New York. And usually in those buildings down there, what happens is that they dig a big hole, and we have all the parking is underground. Have you thought why we don't do it here? Okay, we don't do it here because we have water and more water and more water. So if we dig, what's going to happen is that that has to be covered with concrete. And if we do that with concrete, it's gonna cost a lot of money. So that is why today you don't see, we don't go down to park, we go up to park. And that it has a price. And let me show you here just another way of how things happen here in Florida. We have the house, then we have water where we get the well, and then we have more water. Just to give you that explanation, a quick explanation about what is it that we have underground. And here just is a short explanation of more or less how is that we have layers here in Florida. So 10 feet is more or less that if you're gonna dig, and you're gonna find the water table. The water table is the top of the Biscayne Aquifer. 10 feet. 10 feet is what we sell today in apartments. Is just for you to have in mind how is that? It's one floor. 10 feet is one floor and a half water. That is how deep I can go, and without finding out water, and without a developer spending a lot of money on concrete. Have you seen those pictures pouring concrete at the beginning of a construction when they say that they're gonna pour concrete and come all these trucks? Okay, that is to cover that. Imagine like a big, this I don't know how to call this hole. They have to cover that with concrete and they have to fill it up. But if it's mixed with water, they have a big problem. That's money. Right there is money. Right there is just a lot of money. So that's why we cannot go any lower. What happens if you cannot go any down on that? We cannot have enough parking spaces. Why? Because that's going to cost a lot of money. First of all, one of the few ones that are actually here in Miami, there are 3 new developments that I know that they have done it. One, it was Brickell City Center, and they did it because of the retail spaces, and they needed that, and it delayed construction. They truly had problems with water. They couldn't for a while. I mean, I think that it was like for a month or something like that they couldn't contain the water coming out of the walls of the big pit. So they have to do a system that they have like this I forgot the name in English, that they would do compartments. They will do this compartment and put concrete, and they will go to the other one. They will try to dry it out, and it was a whole job. It cost money, and it delayed the construction. Then we have Jet Signature. They did it, and I'll explain you why they didn't. They didn't do it because of the parking. They did it for a different reason, but it was because architecture is serving that client. And also they did it at Auberge. You see that the similarity of Auberge and Jet Signature, they are developed by Fortune. And Fortune, they are very into design and architecture and serving the client with a resort style living. And this is not a speech, this is reality. So they truly understand that the client wants to live in a resort style. So they pay that extra money just to give your client that. So it was Brickell City Center, it was Jet Signature, and Auberge. Those are the 3 ones that I know that they have gone, at least Auberge and Jet Signature. If you go and look for a picture or try to remember, the pool is right above the ocean, is right at sea level. So you feel like you are in a resort. But to achieve that, you have to go, the parking cannot be above ground, it has to be below. And that costs a lot of money in terms of concrete. And it costs a lot of money because, let me tell you this, you as a developer, you have 2 options. You dig and you do the parking below ground, or you have a limit. You have, in residential right now, it's about 700 feet. more or less. It's about 60 floors is more or less the clearance that the AA has given us. But you have an option. Since it costs a lot of money to go down, then I have to go up in parking, right? But if I'm gonna give you a lot of parking to your buyer, I'm gonna give that buyer 3 parking spaces, and then the other one I'm gonna give 4, because that's what they are, you know, accustomed to in their countries, and they have 4 kids or whatever the reason it is. So I have the option to do in this building. I have this much of a space. Half of the building will be parking and the other half will be residences. Guess what? So I'm gonna have to, anyways, I'm gonna have to increase the price per square foot on the residences, because I ate a lot of my construction space in terms of height. I ate that giving you parking spaces. Or I have the option to not give you assigned parking, lower, which is this option, which is below, you know, a lower area in parking spaces, but I optimize valet parking with technology, with applications, and with lifts. These are small lifts that you go, you know, one on top of the other, and I do this. I optimize the valet parking. And that is the choice that we have today. So because of this feature about the land that we live in, which is limestone with water and with 2 aquifers, we cannot have assigned parking. If you explain this to your client, I'm telling you, they will understand. And I've done it. I explain this situation that we cannot do it, that this non-existent anymore. It's not because the developer doesn't want to do it, it's because it would be very costly for the buyer to buy. So it doesn't make any sense if I provide you with the parking and at the end you're not gonna buy it, or I just explain you this and I'll give you the valet parking. That is the reality of the parking, assigned parkings in Miami these days. It is, as I just told you. Juan Carlos Cáceres is asking me, what do I think of projects with no parking? That's a different game. That is, that it has to do basically with urban architecture, and in places where transit and walkability is a factor. I think that is a trend. I think that is happening. I think that is coming. But I think that that's coming more in places with a walkability ratio higher, you know, that is higher, a score. Walkability score is higher than in more of our residential areas. And, you know, in places like Sunny Isles and Bear Harbor, I don't see it. I mean, that's my personal opinion, maybe with lots of ignorance, but I don't see it at all. Definitely will have to have valet parking. In places like downtown and Brickell, maybe can work, as long as our city improves in transportation. That's what it is. And what do I think, how accurate is robotic technology? Oh, that's a good question. I like that one. Let me go to that one in a second. So okay, let's talk about that one, because I was playing something else about amenities. So keeping with the technology and robotic technology, as JC is mentioning here. So we have these architects and engineers coming with another solution. We cannot go down, and I cannot eat the space, you know, that I can build, because I have to produce apartments. I have to produce volume, so I can maintain a price per square foot. So I think that that's where something as genius as Porch is. I truly, and I'm gonna be honest, at the beginning I never liked Porch, because it has the colors are not my style, but let me tell you, today, the more I go, the more value that I find in that product. I think that is genius in many senses, in absolutely many senses. Now, talking about parking, this building is only below ground. It's only one level of parking, and then you're gonna access the elevators. Now, assigned parking. Do you want assigned parking? Then go to Porch. Porch will give you assigned parking, and it's gonna be right there at your door, right there at your apartment. And I want all of you take this concept that Porch is a toy. Porch is not a toy. The Porch Design Tower is about service, and you're gonna be able to park. Listen, how many times have you found a client, I'm not gonna give my Ferrari or my Lamborghini or my mega Porsche to that valet guy, and if that building doesn't have assigned parking, I'm not buying. And maybe you lose the client, and maybe they go and buy a house, or maybe whatever happens, because definitely it's about the car. Well, that's Porch. The Porch would give you that assigned parking. And listen, it's two parking spaces per apartment, or you go to the penthouse and you have 12 spaces in a 56th floor. Let me tell you that to me, that is really, really, really a game. It's a game, a change in the game. So that is, now you're gonna tell me, no, that is overvalued. No, it's not overvalued. I'm telling you, it's not overvalued, because you will pay for you to have the ability to have assigned parking. And that is what the building is giving you. That design and architecture, that engineer is giving you the possibility of parking right there. Now, not to mention, in the case of Porch, because unfortunately, that's when my computer started, and I don't have the slide for Porch, because Porch is a very specific case, and it's unique. We don't have anything like Porch. So there are two things that Porch is giving you besides just another apartment in front of the ocean. Let's put it that way. Oh, Porch, it's just another apartment in front of the ocean. No, it's not. It's not, because first of all, it's giving you those assigned parkings that you want very much for your beloved Lamborghini or Ferrari or Porsche or whatever you have. So, or your just forgot the name of the other, or for your car. Second is giving you, so they came with this, and why is Porsche now becoming a signature for people looking for privacy, for a lot of celebrities? It's very simple. You come in your car, you go to the elevator, and the car will take you to your apartment. Elevators that, guys, do not fail. They don't fail, they don't break. That's a myth. It doesn't happen. I mean, don't listen to that. But that design on architecture and engineering, the construction is serving a purpose for a specific market, and that is architecture. When you understand what architecture is providing to your client, you're going to be able to sell that specific property, which is not just another apartment in front of the ocean, because it is not. Okay, so in terms of robotic, if you're asking me, JC, for Porsche, I think that is genius. Honestly, it's absolutely genius product. If you're asking me for other experiences, like in Brickell House in Brickell, I think that it was a very unfortunate event. I think that it was perhaps not well developed. I don't know what happened with the technology. I don't know what exactly the details, but it didn't come out right, and buyers suffer a lot. But I think that it was a good initiative, but unfortunately it didn't came out right. Okay, I think that I don't know. We have to come with better product or technology for that. I know many other cities around the world that they do have that kind of parking, which is, remember, a porch, your elevator takes you to your apartment in your car. At Brickell House, is one elevator that takes the cars, goes and you know, and is parking it in a design, imagine like a line. So it's totally different. It's a totally different product. Any other question? Was it the same company? No, it wasn't the same company. The elevators at Porsche actually it's a trademark. It's a product. It's called Deservator. Is that the way it's registered? Any other question, JC? Come on, ask me more. All right, so let's talk about amenities. And I get this about amenities. I get it at all. I get it a lot. I'm sorry, all the time. I get these people, they go to the beach because, you know, that's where I'm working right now. And the first question, do you have amenities on top? No, we don't. And have you noticed that none of the buildings that are on the beach have amenities on top? You see, that's architecture again. Architecture is telling you that when you are on the beach, that is not what is recommended when you are on the beach. People, buyers, residents, they want to be on the beach. So there is no reason to have an amenity on top of the floor because what I want is the sand. Isn't it that what I bought? I bought sand, I bought ocean. I didn't buy a view, you know, to be on top of the floor. So that is exactly what we are selling. In areas like downtown, Brickell, those areas, amenities are on the top because if I have the pool down on the ground, so there are two things that happens. Once the sun is gonna be in a very short window during maybe at noon, so I'm not gonna get that sun during the afternoon, and I'm not gonna be able to have this, you know, to enjoy Miami, which is sun and a pool and get tanned. So that's why the pools, they go on top of the buildings with beautiful rooftops. I mean, come on. What these buildings are doing these days, name it, Aston Martin is phenomenal. The design is beautiful, beautiful, couldn't be better. Flatiron is amazing. They all have, the other one that I saw, beautiful rooftop design, Legacy. They have all these rooftops on top. And that's because on the beach, on the city, amenities go to the top. On the beach, amenities go to the bottom because the style of living is totally different, totally different. You go to the ground. So that's why you see when we are on the beach, if you go to Auberge in Fort Lauderdale, if you go to Armani, you go to Porsche, you go to Ritz, Jade Signature and Auberge, I think that they do an amazing job in terms of amenities and having the pools right in on the ocean. So that is what why the amenities on the beach are on the ground. So that again, when a client, if you have a client that is looking for an apartment on the beach, but you know, he insists or she insists to have a rooftop, explain them that is not going to happen because that is not what architecture does for us on the beach, and vice versa. Don't go to the Brickell area pretending to have, you know, all these kind of amenities on the ground because it's not going to happen for two reasons: because you're not going to see the sunlight, and second, because of the code. There is called Miami 21 that is for all the developers requires to have retail on the ground. So that's why you won't find that feature in the Miami-Dade. Any question about that? So keep in mind. Now, I disagree. There's one building, I don't want to say it because I don't want to talk bad about it, but there's one building that we have on Beach that they decided to spread the amenities all over the building. And I disagree with that. I disagree totally because I think that the beach is about the ocean. And I think that the pool and you know, all the amenities should be spread on the sand. That's why you need land. That's why you have Aqualina, you have Jade, you have Armani with big pieces of land, huge. I mean, it's about, we have all about 3 acres of land with a beautiful ocean front. And that is to provide your client with resort living. And that costs money. That's why you cannot compare an old building with a new one, because you have to appreciate the fact that these architects have thought out and they have learned through the years the value of resort living, and that it costs land and money, you know, to build that and provide that to your client. Any question about that? No questions. So basically that is, and I can go on and on this just because I truly just love it. I'm gonna give you another details in terms of architecture, that why it's so important. We have 2 buildings that they really thought about giving the client what they want. How many times have you found a client complaining about structures in the middle, a structural column in the middle of the living area, or in the, you know, just eating space inside the apartment? Well, let me explain you that in the case of Jade Signature, all that cage that you see are surrounding the building, that is the structure. So inside the building, you're not gonna find any surprises in terms of a big column in the middle of the living area. And that is the value of the design in architecture, giving your client more square footage. Now, why is that important? And pay attention to this because I explained this in the Condo Docs class. Because when you are selling pre-construction, you are selling the living, the square footage is the surrounding of the area, the apartment, the floor plan. You take all the surrounding, and that's going to be your square footage. If you have a column in the middle of the apartment, it doesn't matter if you can use it or not. I'm telling you, it's the surrounding, okay? So those columns are gonna be eating space. In the case of Jade Signature, it doesn't happen because the columns and all the structure is surrounding. You see, again, someone called an architect did an amazing job providing those columns, or trying to make it pretty, and playing with the wind and playing with the sun and also with the structure, so you don't eat a square footage inside that floor plan. Appreciate it. I'm telling you, appreciate it, and tell your clients, so your client see the value on that. If at least you understand that, so you can have and explain the difference between buying that kind of floor plan or buying a different one, all right? Also, these days you're gonna find more and more buildings. When we are talking about the on the beach, they all are gonna be more towards the south, to take advantage of the sun. Also, we're gonna see more and more flow-through units. Flow-through units are those that go from east to west, because it happens that west is not anymore a bad product. People want to see the sunset. And that's why the buildings go towards the south, they go diagonal, and we have the flow through because people want to see the sunset. They want to have a glass of wine at the sunset, and they understood, the buyer, the experienced buyer understands that the ocean is dark at night. That is what architecture is giving us more reasons to explain to our clients about new products and old products. Also, another thing, I don't have it here on a slide, but the human eye. I'm telling you, people just go and they go surfing on the internet, or you maybe because you don't know, because you're just gonna go like doing what everybody does, that is just an average per square foot, and let me show you these buildings. But it's just drive by and you're gonna see it's simple. Glass facade, new building. Concrete facade, old building. New, old. This one is gonna be more money, and obviously it's prettier than the other one. So you just cannot compare, because it's not just another condo on the beach, period. Or in Brickell, it happens exactly the same. Any other question, guys? How about the buildings like Santa Maria that keeps their amenities and building up to the, what about? I don't understand the question, JC, I'm sorry. And what do I think about the new construction in the West Coast in Florida? It's coming up. New construction is coming up in the West Coast, especially Naples is always very welcomed for some communities. Fort Myers happens to have an international airport, and it serves very well the Midwest. You'll be surprised the amount of traffic that they have from those cities, and it's just because that airport serves extremely well the Midwest and the Northeast. So they do have a lot of traffic, as same as Tampa and Fort Myers, Tampa, and this other city. It's coming. It's really coming, but it's a different market. It's a different market. They have a different requirements for deposits. I think that if we want, and I said this all the time to all my development community, if we want to sell more in the United States, we have to lower the deposits, because the American buyer or the Canadian buyer, they are not used to 50% deposits. That is for South America. Here in the American buyer, they just they don't buy the concept. Why am I gonna give you 50%? Let's say it's a $1 million apartment. Why am I gonna give you $500,000 for you to hold it in your account, escrow, whatever, when I can have that in the stock market? It's a different perception, totally different game. But I hope, and I think that they are easing out, in this concept of the 50%, and they are going down on some, and more often we are seeing the 30% deposits. And that is why you go to the West Coast, and they do have that structure over there. It's a different game. And they said it has to do West Coast, it has to do with the community, it has to do with the deposits, it has to do with the airports. Airports are very important. To have international airports close to the area that you want to sell is very important if you want to serve other markets. Any other question?
Yeah, Beatrice, can you hear me?
Yes.
The question that I was asking you about Santa Maria is, you were talking earlier about the amenities, how an older building doesn't almost have the same value as the newer building. So how do you explain Santa Maria that has their amenities up to date and the building up to date, and their prices are strong?
I understand that. I mean, definitely Santa Maria is a great, it's a great product that we have in our community. If you look at the building from the far, even the design is quite modern for the time that they delivered that building. Is
right.
I mean, it's quite an old building. But also, it has remained as one of the few beautiful luxury buildings in the oceanfront in Brickell. So they have that fortune, the fortune to be one of the few, you know, the last ones, but also the administration, they kept, you know, they were doing the, you know, they kept doing the job of renewing the area, the common areas. But I also have heard from some clients, you know, that are more demanding, that they definitely find it's beautiful, but it's not modern. It's not definitely, it's not the last one, and it still is old. And let me tell you that is why Una is being very successful, because Una is serving all those residents in that area, oceanfront Brickell, that they want a newer apartment. That's why they're doing so well. Because it's you know, the new design, the new architecture is not only about amenities, JC. I think that it has to do with the design. The design that you're not gonna have 8 feet high, you're gonna have 10. The depth of the balconies. That is design, that is architecture, and people want that. It's not only about a bigger gym, or it's not only about a beautiful pool. It's also about the living. How am I gonna live in bigger spaces? The kitchen is not closed. The kitchens are now open. So architecture has changed, so that definitely buyers are paying for that. And the perfect example is Una versus Santa Maria. Why people from Santa Maria are buying in Una? It's called design. It's called architecture, because if you go and look, they are both oceanfront, both they have amenities, both are very well kept. I mean, Santa Maria is very well kept, but it's not new, and it's not new for being new, just for the heck of being new. It's new because it provides newer standards of living. If that answers my question.
Yes, it does.
Any other question?
Yes, so tell us, how can we get a hold of you if they have any questions, or maybe they want some information from maybe a specific chat you might have for new construction?
They see you taking away my job here.
He's a very good host at his panels. Guys, if you don't know JC is Juan Carlos Cáceres. He is a very good, very active leader in the industry. He has entertained us a lot with very good panels in this pandemic, and I hope he continues doing so in the future. He brings all kind of leaders from all over the country to panels. Usually he does it Wednesdays afternoon. So keep tuned with JC. JC, if you wanna post your number here, feel free. And if you wanna contact me, JC, if you wanna contact me, feel free, take a picture of that QR code, and it's gonna go straight to my WhatsApp. I say hello, you say hello, and we save each other our numbers. Any other question? Listen, I wanted to talk more about interior architecture, but it's gonna be forever. But if you ever want to sit down and have a coffee and talk about design and architecture, I mean, come on, call me, because I truly love this subject. It's about beauty, it's about design, it's about repetition, about colors, and I just love it. I just cannot deny it. Any other question?
Yeah.
No questions,
I
guys.
just want to say one more thing.
Tell me. Are you gonna be
you're
back
doing
on my
an amazing
chat?
job.
No, you're not.
Great. No,
Huh?
you're doing an amazing job. You're doing great. This is great. You know, I came to support. So for any of you that have any questions, Beatrice is, you know, she is one of a few that understands pre-construction from the beginning to the end. And I assure you, she will be the perfect person to ask, any questions that you have on pre-construction.
Thank you, Jesse. And this is for real. I've had this situation. I've had it already like 3 times. From my previous classes, these classes that I've been giving seminars. If you have any question about development, call me later and ask me what can you do or not do. And I've had that people calling me about whatever, delivery, contracts, condo docs, reservation, anything. Give me a call or send me a message and I'll help you out because I truly love what I do. I truly love my development.
And it shows. It shows that not only do you love it, you're very passionate about it, and you've become very knowledgeable due to the fact that you do fully identify yourself in what it is that you're doing.
All right. Thank you for the flowers. Call me, and at 11:30, we're going to do it in Spanish. If you have anyone that wants to join us in the Spanish version, feel free to send the link telling you to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Roger, Alba, Ezequiel, Anita Hermosa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Beatriz.
And come back next Thursday. Hopefully, I'm going to do one about closings and everything that it takes to close. But for that, I'm going to invite other people that are more detailed about closing because that is a very touchy subject when it comes to deliveries. It's a very stressful moment for us. Extremely stressful. So stay tuned. We're gonna do something about that. If not, I'm gonna start over again with reservations and explaining what it takes to, what is it about reservations. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Beatriz. Always amazing, and I'll see you again at 11:30.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye.